Smith here. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Downtown Deuce ASAP. Come on, man.
Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. It's our time. Can you feel the elevation? We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 3-1-3 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination. Together all the time together. It's us against the world, it don't get no better. We turned it around, that was the beginning. Coming for the crown, you know we winning. Time to put in the work, I'm about to go berserk. Taking our prisoners, it's my time. Yeah, I know that it hurts. Say I break out the church, you don't wanna see me in my prime. The mission is to ring, we're caught in everything. In the city, supporting the dream. Vision new I never seen, we deserve to be king. It's all or nothing, no in between. The clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Now the clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Yeah, feel the elevation. We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 3-1-3 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination.
Yeah. Detroit basketball. Man, yes, sir. Had to give y'all a little extra that time. Oh my gosh. What up, though, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Downtown Deuce Show. As you guys can see, tonight is just me. Boss is currently at the Denver Nuggets game versus the Sacramento Kings. She lives in Denver, so she is staying tapped in with what's going on in the Western Conference for us. But she will be back for the next Pistons post-game recap. Now, let's get to tonight's game. And before we do that, chat, I see y'all already, man. Y'all, as usual, y'all are deep after a win. I see all you guys in the chat. Shout out to everybody who was here. I'm seeing a lot of great comments already. We are going to get to a lot in this game. We have a lot to cover in this game, man. So once again, shout out to you guys for being here. Let's get to this game. Okay, so first things first. The Pistons just concluded their road matchup with the Memphis Grizzlies, and they win their third straight game, 114-106, to move to 5-2 on the regular season. By the way, guys, if I missed your comment, as always, if I don't see it, repost it, caps lock, super chat, whatever you got to do to get my attention, go ahead and do that. Usually, boss will be here moderating, but I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to try to multitask the best I can. So, like I said, if I miss you, just do what you got to do to get my attention, all right? So, guys, man, by the way, fun fact, the last time the Pistons started a season with a 5-2 record was during the 2005-2006 season. So it's been 20 years, guys. That season, they began with an 8-0 record. That was the first year with Flip Saunders, right? So, Pistons are doing some good things, man. They're slowly getting back to that mentality, slowly getting back to that team, that respectable contention level team. Not quite there yet, but getting there, right? So we got a lot to get to. Okay, first things first, guys. Injury report. Let's start with that. So Tobias Harris was out for this game tonight. He had a right ankle sprain last game. He returned to that game. I wasn't surprised he didn't play tonight because, as you guys know, if you sprained your ankle, especially a high ankle sprain, I'm not sure if this is a high ankle sprain, but any kind of ankle sprain, when you sprain it, you know that if you keep it warm, you can possibly play through it, right? And that's what Tobias Harris was able to do last game. That's why he tweaked it in the first half and he returned in the second half because he kept it warm. He probably was on the bike, probably just was walking around, just keeping it warm. But once you sit down and it gets cold, sometimes you can't even put pressure on it, let alone play. So I figured we might not see him tonight. We might not see him for the next couple of games. And based on what we saw tonight, I think we're going to be just fine without him. And I also think there should be some changes to the lineup, which we'll get to on that. But I'll keep you guys posted on Tobias as we get more information. So, starting in Tobias' place tonight, Isaiah Stewart. And the silver lining of this, guys, is that we got a chance to see extended minutes of Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart, which I have been hoping to eventually see. And we'll get to that later as well. Myself and King have been saying it for a while too. We want to see that two big lineup, and we're going to get to that. But also, guys, Marcus Sasser, man. Marcus Sasser missed his 7th straight game with a hip injury. And it's really unfortunate for him, man, because he's really has not had a chance to play this year at all. And with guys out, guys missing like J.I. and guys like that, I would have hoped to see him play. But Coach Bickerstaff did provide an update on Marcus Sasser before the game. So let's check that out.
Sass, is going to get some more imaging just to kind of see where he's at. He's been able to do some things, but the response hasn't been, where he's comfortable the next day or even during some of it. And we will always be patient to make sure he's in position to be successful before we put him out there.
So that was via Cody Davis, beat writer and reporter for the Detroit News. He asked that question to Coach Bickerstaff about the status of Sasser. So I want to shout out Cody Davis for that. He does great work. You guys make sure you go check him out on X at Cody Davis _24. That is COTY Davis _24. So even though this period will be a great opportunity for Marcus to get some minutes with the Pistons missing guys, like I mentioned, like J.I., the Pistons are not going to rush him back, nor should they. And so, I'll keep you guys posted on him as we get more updates on Sass, but get well soon, Sass. I hope you get an opportunity to really, show what you can do for this team eventually. All right, before we go to this game, guys, I want to get to one thing first. Ja Morant, right? Ja Morant, guys, he returned from a 1-game suspension for conduct detrimental to the team. The game before last, he called out the coaching staff for his lack of minutes and poor play. And honestly, that was very disturbing for me. If you watched that game, you saw the coaching staff was not the reason that he didn't play well. He just had no accountability. He had a lack of effort. And guys, I want to say this too. Things like this are why guys like Cade Cunningham went #1 overall. I don't think we'll ever see Cade Cunningham get suspended on this team for conduct detrimental to the team. That's just not his character. So it's just a reminder, guys, that when you draft guys, especially that high, you're drafting not just the player, you're drafting the person. And Cade and Ja, as far as leadership is concerned, on and off the court, night and day. Night and day, man. Cade is a team-first guy who genuinely cares about the organization as a whole, and he always puts others ahead of himself. It's never about him. So aside from Cade's supreme talent, that is why he was worthy of the #1 pick. Because this dude is a leader, he's a culture builder, and you can rely on him to always represent your organization in a classy way, the right way. And on top of that, you can count on him to close games, right? Like he did tonight. All right, guys. So with that, I just wanted to shout out Cade because this dude is, he's just class personified, man. All right. So let's get to some initial thoughts tonight, guys. The defense tonight, guys, was stellar. This was one of the best defensive performances of the season by far. And I want to show you guys something that Boss actually tweeted out earlier today. She said here, the Detroit Pistons are holding opponents to just under 56% shooting in the restricted area, leading the league, and also still leading the NBA in blocks per game at 7.8. Defense is our superpower, and she could not be any more correct about that. So I wanted to shout that out because she was 100% dead on with that. Now, we all know how well the pick and roll offense has worked this year, right? Between Cade and JD. We've seen it last game. Look no further than the last game against the Mavericks with Cade with a career high, Tyler career high 18 assists, JD with a career high 33 points. We get it, right? But the Pistons guys are at their absolute best when they are getting out in transition, and it starts with the defense. It starts with the defense. It was the case last year. It's going to be the case this year once again. And as long as this team is together and this coach is here, it's going to be the case. So great stat from Boss. I wanted to get that out there for her. I wanted to shout her out as well. Make sure you guys go follow Boss, man. Sarah Boss. Make sure you go follow her out, or go follow her at Sarah Basketball with the O on X, and you can follow her as well on Instagram. So you guys have it there. Make sure you guys go tap in with her because she has some great tweets, some great stats, some great comments. So make sure you guys go check her out. All right, continuing on with this game, you could see, guys, that the Pistons wanted to come into this game and take care of business. You could see it early in the game. They had a different energy and they had a different sense of urgency about them tonight. They played together. They moved the ball. They were unselfish, and they did it all together. Here's the thing. They went up 20 points, guys, in the third quarter when shots finally started to fall, right? And they got a little bit lazy, and they allowed the Grizzlies to get back into this game, right? Cutting the lead down to about 9 to end the third quarter. And I said early in this game, I said in the first 2 minutes of this game, check the timestamps. I said, I smell a Pistons blowout tonight. Right. And as the game continued on, I said, if the Pistons knocked down open shots, because they were ice cold, they started off 0 for 6 in that first quarter. I said, if they knock down shots, this game will soon be a blowout. And honestly, this game should have been a blowout. Like I mentioned, they went up 20 right in that third quarter. Shots started to fall, but they just got lazy. They got complacent, and they allowed the Grizzlies to get back into the game. And by the end of the third quarter, they went from being up 21 to being up 9. A 12-0 run by the Grizzlies to let them back into this game. And I said last show, when you get it under 10 in a quarter, it makes it manageable. When it's a double-digit lead, it seems tougher mentally. But if you can get it under 10, it becomes manageable and you don't rush as much. And especially when you're at home, you got the crowd behind you, the pressure's on the other team. So the Pistons have to work on that. They cannot let off of the gas pedal. When they go up, they have to put their foot on team's neck. Especially teams that are better than. Put your foot on the neck and just beat them. Let your starters rest. Go up 25. Put the game out of reach, right? You can't allow teams to get back into the game the way the Pistons did tonight. That is one of the only knocks on this game, right? Because we saw it, right? When it gets late in the fourth quarter on the road, guys get tight. They start second guessing their shots. They start pump faking. They don't want to make mistakes. They don't want to make the strength the lead anymore. The crowd gets into it. And the pressure just continues to build. And that's what happened. That's what happened. So the Pistons have to continue to make sure they lock in and play as close to 48 minutes as possible to avoid this. This game should have been a blowout in the second half. This should not even have been a game. That was the frustrating part. But young team, they're still learning. This is a great opportunity to learn from their mistakes, and it's great they can do it in a win, right? So those are my initial thoughts. So guys, let's go ahead, man, and get to some box scores, right? Let's get to some box scores and see what actually transpired. Let's get into the nitty gritty of it. All right. So guys, let's go ahead and start with our superstar player, man. Cade Cunningham, guys. Cade Cunningham tonight finished with 33 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 block, and 3 turnovers. Now, compared to his last 2 games, that 8 assists to 3 turnover ratio was bad. But it's not bad overall. It's pretty good, right? I always say a 3-to-1 is really good. A 4-to-1 is great. So tonight he was about a little under a 3-to-1, right? Because if you'd had 9 assists and 3 turnovers, that's a 3-to-1. But an 8-to-3, that's not bad, right? But he shot 60% from the field, man. 12 for 20. He shot 50% from 3 of 6. He shot 6 for 10 from the free throw line. So his free throw line, uncharacteristically, his free throw shooting has kind of been below subpar, right? We know he can shoot 80% easy. But the last few games, even the season overall, he hasn't really been shooting away from the line. That's the only knock on him tonight. We're going to get to some things he did really, really well. Overall, he looked great. For the most part, he was very much under control. He read the floor well. He got his guys good shots. But you could see, I noticed this. You guys probably saw it too. The Grizzlies were sitting on that lob. They were sitting on that lob out of the pick and roll to JD. And on one play early in the game, as soon as he tried to get it up, they knocked it away. They swatted it right back at him. So Cade has to be aware that teams are going to be sitting on that, right? They're watching film. They saw what happened last game with JD. They saw how he was eating time after time after time, right? So that's an adjustment that Cade's going to have to make. But despite that, overall, he was able to read the defense, make the right play based on how the defense reacted. So whether it was finding Stu in the corner for a 3 or whether it was getting to the hoop for his own when the defense would stay home, he just continued to make the right decision over and over, more times than not. And then defensively too, he did a good job staying in front. He forced Ja Morant and other guys who are extremely quick into some tough shots because he played defense with his feet. And he was just physical enough to make things tough for Ja, who's not really a big guy. So he did find himself in a little bit of foul trouble. He picked up his 4th foul early in the 3rd quarter, but to his credit, he didn't pick up another foul in that quarter. So great discipline from him. That's what allowed Coach to let him ride. Coach really trusted him early in that 3rd quarter not to pick up his 5th foul and to play smart. And Cade rewarded him with not picking it up and being available in that 4th quarter to be able to bring this game home, right? So that's the thing, guys. But here's the thing. When the game got tight in the 4th quarter, Cade Cunningham just said no. He said, nope, you're not beating us. Cade Cunningham closed this game for the Pistons, period. He said in his head, you can see the way he played, it was like he just said, nah, we're better than you guys. You are not about to steal this game from us. Give me the ball, get out the way. He scored 19 4th quarter points. 19. He had 33 overall, so he had 14 going into the 4th quarter. But that's what MVP players do. That's what MVP level players do. They close. If anybody has ever seen Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you will know what I'm talking about when I say, when in doubt, pass to Will. If we're down 5, pass to Will. If we're up 10, pass to Will. That was what it was in the 4th quarter. Get out the way, pass to Cade. For my Kobe fans, this was a play call every time down on offense in that 4th quarter. Right? You guys know what that means, Kobe fans, right? Give me the ball and get out the way. Get out the way. And that's what happened, man. So I got to give Cade a lot of credit, man, because he showed his ability to close games. Like the knock on Cade last year was what? His turnovers and his ability to close games. Check, check. Man, amazing game from our guy Cade Cunningham, man. He did exactly what you want to see your star player, your all-NBA player, your MVP level player do. Y'all get it. Yeah, I see y'all in the chat. Yep. Give the ball to Will. Yep. Emperor, you know what's up. Yep. Detroit Drew, you know, pass to Will for sure. I knew y'all would get that for sure. Organic says Kobe would start hissing like a snake. He would do that. That's how he would ask for the ball, right? If any player was in earshot, he would just he would hiss at him to get them the ball. That's what the Black Mama does, right? So anyway, shout out to Cade, man. He played an incredible game. Incredible game. And to see his growth in these moments late in games, he wasn't turning the ball over when it was tight. He wasn't taking bad shots when it was tight. He was making every right play. Every right play down the stretch. Incredible, man. I got to give Cade a lot of credit. I could talk about him all night in this game, but I'm not going to do that because we have a lot of other guys who played great in this game. But the reason we were able to close this game out when things got tight, when it should have already been put away, is because of Cade Cunningham, man. Amazing game. All right, guys, let's move on before we be here all night. Let's go to our next starter, and let's take a look at Duncan Robinson. So, guys, tonight in 40 minutes, Duncan Robinson had 11 points, 4 boards, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 40% overall, 3 from 9 from 3, and that was pretty much it. So let me say this. Duncan Robinson, guys, is getting better and better. He's getting more and more comfortable with this team. He didn't have the 18 and 6 he had last game, right? But he's continuing to show more and more, even more than I thought he could do, to be honest with you, with this team. His ability to let's start here, put the ball on the floor, right? He's known to be a catch and shoot guy, but over the back half of his career, when you say back half, he's not old, but as he's gotten older and grown in this league, he's kind of evolved from just a catch and shoot guy to a guy who can put the ball on the floor and make something happen, right? He's done it a few games now where he catches it, and when the defense closes too hard, he's able to take advantage because you see too often, guys, he's a great shooter, right? But his ability now to make the defense pay when they close out too hard, that's going to open up a lot of opportunities for himself and for others once the defense bites on that pump fake and he's able to get to the rim. He has some nice bounce passes. He had a nice catch, pump fake, drive to the hoop, drop pass to JD for a finish. Another one, pump fake, dive to the hoop, nice finish off the glass, right? So I love what Duncan Robinson has brought the last few games. I really have. I know I was hard on him early, and that's because really on either end, he wasn't really giving us much, especially defensively. But we're able to see now as he gets more and more comfortable. I got to give him credit, man. He's continuing to get better and better, and it's just coming with comfortability. So shout out to Duncan Robinson, man. But guys, let me just say this. Imagine the Pistons defense and their transition offense when Jaden Ivey comes back. Imagine Jaden Ivey at that number 2 spot. And this is to take nothing away from Duncan Robinson, right? Because I think he's playing well. But the way we're able to get out in transition, imagine the speed with guys like Cade and Ausar and JD and Stu. And now you got J.I. and you got Ron still. Man, the athleticism and speed we are going to have, which really plays into the hands of how we want to play as far as getting up and down the court. Man, that's going to be deadly. It's going to be deadly, man. It's going to be scary odds for the league. But back to Duncan Robinson, man. He played a really good game. Even though it didn't show as a huge, crazy box score, he was very, very solid for this team. He didn't make a lot of mistakes in this game, right? He didn't make a ton of mistakes. You're seeing him kind of get comfortable, too, kind of launching that three as he's kind of fading to the side, right? As he's moving and he's fading to the side and he puts it up, that you can tell that's one of his bread and butter shots. And he knocked it down, man. He knocked it down. So I got to give him credit, man. He didn't shoot the greatest, but he hit some big ones when we needed it. So good game from Duncan Robinson, man. All right, guys. Let's move on to Ausar Thompson, man. Ausar Thompson tonight, guys, had 9 points, 4 boards, 1 assist, 4 steals. That is a team high. He had 2 blocks, 2 turnovers, 57% shooting overall. He missed his only 3. Shot 1 for 6 from the line. Once again, that's the knock on Ausar, man. He's got to improve that free throw shooting. We know he has the ability to get to the free throw line, right? But when you get there, you got him knocking down. And 16% from the line is not going to cut it. It's just not going to cut it. Now, the field goal percentage overall has improved, 57%, right? And he only took 1 3. He didn't fall, but he just took 1. That's fine. But he's got to improve that free throw shooting, man. That has to improve. But here's the thing, because this is not an all negative thing on Ausar at all. That's just the only knock. But I told Boss, guys, offline that I hope to see, before the game started, I said, I want to see Ausar primarily on Ja Morant. In the first play of the game, he drew offensive foul on him. First play of the game. He played great defense on Ja, man. One of the few guys is Ausar Thompson that has the foot speed to stay in front of a guy like Ja, who's super athletic and quick, but he's also tall. He's taller. He's long. He's rangy. And his length, it bothered Ja at times, as it does with most players. Most players are bothered by Ausar Thompson. He gets under guys' skin. And once again tonight, he got under guys' skin. Vince Williams, he got under his skin. He pushed Ausar after Ausar was ball hawking him. He was ball hawking him, right? And Ausar fouled him, and he made sure that Vince Williams didn't score. He just kind of grabbed him just to make sure he didn't pull him down or anything like that. He grabbed him and quickly turned around at the ref like, come on. And as soon as he did that, Williams pushed him in his face out of frustration, right? So we see how Ausar continues to just bother guys. He continues to bother guys. He continues to get under their skin, and that is going to bode well for this team going forward. We know how good he is defensively, right? And he made some really big defensive plays in that fourth quarter, guys. When the Grizzlies started to threaten, when the lead started to go from 9 to 7 to 6 to 4 to 3, he made a lot of great defensive plays. He had a great block at the rim without fouling, a help side block. It was a defensive breakdown. And I forgot who it was. It was the big man that found himself open under the hoop for the Grizzlies. He got there and swatted it without fouling. And right after that, he got a big steal for a transition hoop. Big plays and big moments from Ausar Thompson. And he was able to also, offensively, he was able to get to that mid-range game, right? I've always said, I love it when he gets into 2 feet in the paint and goes to that mid-range jumper. That's his game. As for right now, we know he's trying to work his way out to the 3-point line. But for now, that's his bread and butter in that mid-range. So I love what I'm seeing from Ausar right now, man. He continues to show growth. And yes, Detroit Drew, he had the dog pound mentality tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting to as many comments as I can. It's hard to multitask and do both as far as letting you know what I saw and getting to you guys as well. But once again, man, Ausar Thompson, bro, yeah, he was overall pretty good in this game. He had a few turnovers here and there where he bounced it off his knee. But overall, he was definitely a plus in this game. So I want to give him a lot of credit for the defensive plays he made, helping set that tone for this team, and it helped us get this win for sure, especially late in that fourth quarter. All right, guys, let's keep it moving. Let's go now to Isaiah Stewart, guys. Isaiah Stewart, guys. I got quite a bit to say about Stu. All right, so in this game, guys, Isaiah Stewart had a career high 26 points and 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 blocks, 1 turnover on 50% shooting. And it wasn't like 2 out of 4, 50%. He took 18 shots, guys. He made 9 of them. He was 2 of 8 from 3. That's the only black mark on him. But he did shoot 6 for 6 from the free throw line. 6 for 6, guys, from the free throw line. And he did that in 33 minutes. I believe that's the most he's played all year. But guys, let's talk. Now, I'm be honest, guys. Isaiah Stewart needs to start. Point blank. Isaiah Stewart needs to start. I mentioned it earlier. King has talked about it. I've talked about it. And if you guys remember, I threw it out to you guys, and I threw it out to Boss. I threw it out to King. I threw it out to Eric. I said, what do you guys think about Isaiah Stewart starting? And I think they were kind of like, situational. It depends on the matchup. It depends, right? But I'm like, nah, man. He needs to start. Straight up. The situation is he needs to start. That's the situation. Because for me, I love the 2 big lineup of JD and Stu. I love it. As a starting unit, I love it. Because with more and more teams going bigger in their front court, right? The Knicks, the Bucks, the Cavs, teams who are going to be in our way as we're trying to get past the first round and potentially get maybe to the conference finals and maybe beyond, right? The Pistons need to go bigger. And they would do well to fight fire with fire, especially with the defensive identity they're trying to build. Having 2 bigs in the lineup, it also increases the Pistons' ability to get out in transition, right? Because it cuts down on things like offensive rebounds. It forces the team into tougher shots. And you saw the Pistons getting out in transition early and often in this game, right? They looked like the Pistons. You saw them getting out in transition time after time after time after time, getting easy scores time after time after time. And with both he and JD in the paint, guys, the Grizzlies, for the most part, were one and done on offense, right? You did not see a bunch of offensive rebounds, 2 boards in 1 possession, 3 boards. No, that didn't happen. The Pistons, with their size and their strength, with Stu in that starting lineup, that stood out. Stu was tapping the ball out after missed shots. He was making sure they were not getting second chance opportunities. So it didn't look perfect with JD and Stu, right? Because usually Stu subs in for JD. They don't usually play together. But I think if they get more and more reps and more opportunity to play together, they could be a defensive force. And it'll help the Pistons offense as a result. Because once again, the more stops you get, the more often you can get out in transition. You're not taking the ball out of the hoop and trying to run your offense that way. One more thing too, guys. You know you're going to get more defense with Stu at the power forward spot, right? But the thing is, you don't really lose spacing either. I know he didn't shoot well tonight, right? 2 for 8 tonight. But because Stu can knock down that 3 ball to space the floor, and he can defend the paint and the perimeter, like, it just makes sense to me to add him to this team as a starter, to start him. And if you're asking, now here's a question. If you're asking yourself, well, what does that do to our bench depth? Guys, Paul Reed barely even played tonight. He didn't enter the game until the 3rd quarter when we were up 20, right? And I think we would all agree that Paul Reed is good enough to be that 3rd big man in a rotation. And even if he gets in foul trouble, you still got a big guy like Tolu Smith who's waiting in the wings. So to me, it doesn't hurt your depth because we pretty much went with 2 centers tonight. Stu and JD as a starting unit. We just went with those 2 guys, right? And even if we need to go to somebody else, we still have Paul Reed. We still, who was coming the game oftentimes and giving us a spark. We still have Tolu Smith, who's a big body, who can be serviceable for you and protect the paint. He's shown that. We have enough size to be able to go with JD and Stu. We do. And from what we've seen with these 2 guys together in their first game together in over a year, because we saw them with Monty Williams, disaster. They were not utilized right? Exactly. Situational. No, there is a situation, right? He needs to be starting. Organic says Stu is a center that can shoot, not a floor spacing 4. I'm in favor of situational beef starting. I'm starting him, period, bro. I'm starting him, period. Because you just see how much of an advantage it gives us defensively when he's playing alongside a guy like JD. I think about just think about the Cavs, for example, who have 2 bigs, or the Knicks that have two bigs. You got Mitchell Robinson and you got Cat. You got your inside-outside game. It's the same thing here. But both of those guys are bruisers at the same time. Both of those guys are tough. Both of those guys are physically imposing in the paint. And both of those guys allow you to get out into transition, which is what we want to do. Exactly, Vulture. The Bucks too, with Miles Turner and Giannis, right? You got your inside with Giannis and your outside with Miles Turner. It's the same thing. We have that here. We need to match that so we're not getting bullied. So that way, JD isn't battling two bigs by himself in the paint. Possession after possession. It just makes the most sense. So, and for him in his first start this season to go off like this, when they really haven't had a lot of opportunities to get reps together, imagine how much better they're going to be 20 games in. And then you got Tobias Harris off your bench, instant offense. And you still got defense with Ausar, with Ron Holland. You still got defense with Javonte Green. So the defense won't suffer. It's the most balanced lineup, in my opinion, that still gives you defense and offense in both lineups. But most importantly, you set the tone defensively. You hit first. I always say that, guys. Hit first, right? This team hits first with Isaiah Stewart in that lineup. You set the tone early. You let other teams know exactly how this team is going to be played from jump. That's why you got to start those two guys. That is Pistons basketball. And that is why, if I am coach, I'm letting Tobias sit as long as he needs to. And I'm having a conversation with him. I sit him for the next 2 or 3 games. I evaluate how these next 2 or 3 games look with Stu and JD. And if and when they do look good together, I'm having a conversation with Tobias Harris. We are having a conversation, bro. Look, man. Because I'm sure Tobias sees it too. I'm sure he sees it too. It just makes the most sense. So we'll see. We'll see. But I hope that he gets an opportunity to start full time for this team because it helps in the short term and it helps in the long term. So great game from Dog Pound Senior Isaiah Stewart. Poked the Dog Pound, mess around, found out, man. And tonight they found out in a hurry. So great game, man. All right, guys. Let's move on to our center, Jalen Duren. So tonight, guys, Jalen Duren had 14 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, a career high, I believe, or season high, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 turnovers, 5 for 11 shooting, solid. Once again, guys, 4 for 4 from the free throw line. So the last few games, I think he shot like 12 for 13, 10 for 10, 7 for 8, and again, 4 for 4. Didn't miss a free throw. He's shooting, coming into this game, guys, he was shooting 85% from the free throw line tonight, or over the season. 85% before this game. So now it's probably about 86, 87, right? And it's such a huge jump because I talked about this before. I said, JD, you got to improve that free throw shooting. You got the touch. You can do it. It's just right here. It's between the ears. Literally, just focus. And I say all the time, at an early point last year, in the first, I think, 10 games, he was shooting 58% from the free throw line. 58. And I'm like, bro, that's not good enough. You are way better than that. And he has flipped that 58 into 85. So if he's doing this, it's going to make us that much better because we know he's going to be able to get to the line because he's a great rebounder. He's a good rebounder. So once he's able to get into the post and he gets foul calls, he is able to knock them down. That's what I was saying about Ausar. Ausar can get there, but he's got to knock them down. It can't be empty possessions. It can't be 0 for 2, 1 for 2 more times than not. We'll take 1 for now, but you can't go over 2. But JD, man, the last 5 games, I think he has to be shooting above about 90% from the free throw line. Incredible. And like I said before, he keeps this up. He will be in the All-Star game, guys. He will be an All-Star this season if he keeps this up. So great game from Jalen Duren, man. I love what I saw from him. He was very active defensively. He did a great job protecting the paint. And once again, it looked like he wasn't overwhelmed because he knew he had Isaiah Stewart there with him. Those two guys are hard to score on together in that painted area. It's just tough. It's easier when Tobias Harris is there because he's more times than not, he's not big enough. He is outsized. And it's hard for him. He's 6'8". He does the best he can, but you can't teach size. You can't teach strength. And we know Isaiah Stewart, who is one of the best defenders in the league. Why not put him next to Jalen Duren? Why not? It just makes perfect sense. All right. So JD, solid game, man. Solid game. He's continuing to make strides and continue to be what this team needs. So I love what I'm seeing from him. Okay, guys. Ryan says, in what world are we in where Duren is a better free throw shooter than Cade? Right, bro. Isn't that insane? Insane, right? So JD is blossoming, guys, right before our eyes. Heisenberg says, I really like to see them let JD go to work in the post more because I think he can make a living at the free throw. Yes. I'm not mad at that. Like, for right now, I'm okay with where he's at because he doesn't have a polished post game yet, right? So if it's the last option on a set where you got 10 seconds left and nothing's really there and he's camping out down low, give it to him. Let him see what he can do. But I don't know if I'll run plays for him yet. Not quite yet, because you still got Cade, who is really good at getting guys good shots. And I think the highest percent of us getting a bucket, a good quality shot, starts with Cade setting him up. So we'll see. But I'm not mad at you, Heisenberg. I think eventually, maybe next year, give him another season to work on that post game, to polish that up. And then I think we could see him kind of making a living at the free throw line by initiating in the post. But we'll see. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get to some bench guys, because we pretty much got a pretty solid effort all around. Listen, guys, we only played 9 guys tonight. We only played 9 guys. And Paul Reed was the 9th, and he only played 5 minutes. So I thought that was very, very interesting. It felt like more, but we really didn't need more. We should have won this game with 8 players, and it should have been over. We should have played 11, 12 guys, to be honest, because we should have been able to empty our bench, let other guys get an opportunity, because this game should have been put away in the third quarter. But it didn't happen. It's okay. All right. But let's get to some reserves here, guys. Let's start with Ron Holland. So Ron Holland tonight, guys, had 14 points, 2 boards, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 5 for 8 overall, good for 63%, 1 or 2 from 3, 3 or 3 from the free throw line. So he is continuing as well, guys, to knock down his free throws. He did that, and he did all that in 20 minutes, guys. 14 points, 2 boards, 2 assists in 20 minutes. Bounce back game from Ron Holland. He didn't play great offensively last game, but he was solid defensively. Tonight it was both ends. He showed his two-way ability tonight. Tonight he was able to get downhill early in this game and attack the rim. He had a nice chase down block too. Did you guys catch that chase down block that Ron had? Incredible, man. But he also got some possessions guarding Ja Morant, right? A lot of guys did, guys. We saw 4 or 5 different guys guarding Ja tonight, and that is a luxury to have on this team. You can have guys like Cade, you can have guys like Javonte Green, Ausar Thompson, Ron Holland. You can give him different looks, and that makes it very tough when you throw the kitchen sink at guys like that, because it doesn't allow the offensive player like Ja to get comfortable. It doesn't allow him to get used to seeing the same guy over and over again, to be able to figure out how they can make a move on that guy, to figure out what that guy's defensive weaknesses are. When you got Cade and you got Ausar and you got Ron and you got Green, you're going from long and rangy to strong and compact, who can all stay in front. And that makes it very, very hard for guys to get into a rhythm offensively. And that's why I think Ja Morant struggled, because he got so many different looks. And that's why having that defensive versatility is so important. Ron Holland's going to be a really good player, guys. He's going to be a really good player. You can see that two-way ability already. And his defensive versatility, that toughness, his handle, his playmaking in transition, and his shot is improving rapidly. He's getting better in so many different areas in the beginning stages of year 2. Man, Ron Holland's going to be very, very good, man. I am glad he is on this team. And had he not been in foul trouble, he would have had an even bigger game. He had how many fouls did Ron have tonight? Ron had, how many fouls did he have? 3 fouls. So most of those fouls came early in the game when he was really getting into that rhythm. But yeah, man, he's going to be really, really good for this team. I am really impressed with what I've seen from Ron Holland, man. He is a man, and he just embodies what this team is. Great player, man. Really, really good player. He's going to get better and better and better. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's go now, guys, to, you know what? One more thing with Ron. I want to point this out with Ron Holland, guys. A little bit off topic, but not so much, right? So I was thinking about this with Ron Holland. Have you guys noticed that whenever Ron picks up a tech, it's always because he's getting into it with another player? You don't really see him getting techs because he's barking at officials, right? And I think that's because Ron is the kind of guy who was raised a certain way. I can't verify this. I'm going to check with Ron Sr. on this, but I'm pretty sure this is the case. But Ron is a guy that truly respects his elders. It seems like he was raised that way. Here's why I say that. Whenever he finishes an interview, what's he always say? Whether he's whoever talking to Natalie or whoever it is, George or Gregory Kelser, Johnny Kane, whoever he's talking to, whenever the interview finishes, what's he always say? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Right? If you peep that, you know what I'm talking about. Ron has a healthy respect for those who are older than him. I have noticed that about him. Even when even when Ron came on our show, courtesy of Charles Hill, his trainer, he brought him onto our show, right? And me and King were talking to him. And every time I would say something or King would say something, he would always say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I want to shout out Ron Sr., and Ron's mother, Tarasha Holland, both of them, his parents. I want to shout them out because they raised a respectful young man. And it even shows on a basketball court, man. But when it comes to his peers, when it comes to players, that's when you see him getting those texts, right? At that point, it's fair game, as it should be. But I just wanted to shout him out because he has a healthy respect for those who are older than him. You don't really see that much today, right? So Ethan says Ron knows how to plead with the refs over a call. Right. He pleads with them. He doesn't follow them around. He doesn't bark at them. It's different. But with players, it's totally different. Like Ron and Rasheed Wallace are the opposites. Now, Rasheed Wallace I think he's a great guy, right? But Rasheed Wallace is the polar opposite of Ron as far as how he got his texts. Rasheed didn't usually get his texts getting into it with other players. The one that comes to mind is with Medvedenko, who played for the Los Angeles Lakers when Medvedenko gave him an elbow and she got in his face. But outside of that, you don't really see Rasheed getting into it with other players. It's usually with officials with Rasheed. With Ron, it's the opposite. He's never going at the officials. He's pleading with them, as Ethan says, and he's going at players. So I wanted to shout that out. I noticed that, had to shout his parents out, had to shout Ron out, man. AFBH1628 says, Ron is the man, dude. I was so down on that draft pick when it was made. That dude shut me up with the quickness. Listen, man, I'm going to keep it a stack, y'all. That draft, I was looking at Matas Buzelis and Dalton Connect. I didn't really know much about Ron. I'm going to be honest. I was also surprised when we took him, but that's just because I didn't know about him. He shut me up too, quick. So don't feel bad. You're not the only one. Ron is one of the best players in that draft, straight up. So yeah, man, we got a gem. We've got a diamond in the rough with somebody like Ron Holland, man. I love everything about that dude for sure. All right, guys, we'll leave it there, man. Y'all get where I'm coming from. We'll keep it moving. Once again, I see you guys in the comments. I'm getting to as many as I can. If I miss you, y'all know what to do. All right, let's keep moving, man. With that, guys, let's move on to Caris Levert. Now, I'm kind of surprised, guys, because early in this game on social media and elsewhere, I saw people really getting on Caris Levert. And I was a little bit surprised. He didn't play perfect, but I was surprised by how upset the fans were with Caris Levert tonight, because I thought that he played one of his better games this year, right? And let's just go to his stats. So tonight, he only had 4 points, right? 4 points, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 rebound, 50% from the field. He missed his threes, but he did it in 20 minutes. So here's the thing, and I've talked about this before. He didn't have a stellar box score, but how many times have we talked about guys like Isaiah Stewart in the past not having a great box score, but still impacting I'm not saying that Caris impacts games like Stu does defense. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying it's not always indicative of the box score. You can't look at the box score and determine how a guy played. And that's how I felt it was with Caris Levert tonight. Because early in this game, he was really, really good. He had a nice steal in the first quarter. He picked, I believe it was Cedric Howard, I think his name is. He picked him clean, picked his pocket clean, and saved the ball. It was rolling out of bounds. He saved it to Ron Holland for a transition dunk. Great play. And for me, the defense is the biggest difference in Caris Levert's game since he's been coached by Coach Bickerstaff in Cleveland, right? Because the other stops where he played, he was not a defensive player. He was not. But he said when he first got here that he was challenged for the first time by Coach Bickerstaff in his career to play defense. And you see the effort that he's showing now. And that's going to contribute to the overall makeup of this team because everybody, guys, is committing to that end. And he also had some nice plays. He knocked down some shots. He knocked down a beautiful fadeaway over Ja Morant to end the first quarter, right in his face. Right? So once again, it wasn't perfect. but we're seeing him get a little bit better, more and more, game over game. And that was what I was telling you guys. I was on Duncan Robinson the first 2 games, right? Guilty, because he just looked out of place. But now we see a week later, now we're seeing him beginning to get that confidence and beginning to understand how to play off guys like Cade, right? How to play off guys like Duncan Robinson. We saw Caris Levert also giving Cade a few plays off, handling the ball, making good plays. That is what I think in part allowed Cade to be able to close his game, because he wasn't having to do everything every single time down the floor, right? So once again, just pump the brakes on the criticism on Caris Levert. I believe this is game 4 for him on the season. And we all know how long it took guys last year who were new here, like Tim Hardaway Jr., right? Like Tobias Harris. We saw how long it took them to get into a rhythm. So let's just give him more time, and I think we'll see him continue to get better. And like Pistons Next said, people need to be patient. Give him time to build up a rhythm. 100%. Sean says, I think Caris might fit in later in the year. Yes. Give him time. I think we're going to see a really good version of him later in the season. Ryan says, I still think Caris is playing cautious, not trying to hurt chemistry, slowly working himself in. Exactly. It took the vets, Ethan says, it took the vets over 20 games last year. And we're criticizing him after game 4 for him? Because he missed the first 2 games, right? Give it time. So let's keep going, guys. But Caris Levert to me was solid tonight. He wasn't bad. He wasn't great, but we shouldn't expect him to be great 4 games into the season with new guys on his team. It didn't happen last year. It takes time. All right. Let's keep moving, guys. We got one more guy to get to tonight. And that guy is Javonte Green, man. Let's clap it up for Javonte Green, man. Because once again, if you watch this game and if you just watch the box score, 2 totally different opinions on Javonte Green. Totally different opinion, totally different feel, and just a vibe on the Javonte Green if you did not watch this game compared to if you did. So tonight I'm gonna read the box score, and then we're gonna talk about the on-court impact, right? So Javonte Green tonight, guys, played. He had 3 points, 3 boards, 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 block on 1 of 4 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3 in 21 minutes. So you might ask, why was he on the court that long and he only got 3 points? Because he got 2 steals, because he had a block, because he had 3 boards and an assist, because he played great defense. I know he missed the bunny. I know I know he's missed some bunnies this year. I get it. That's one individual play. But overall, this game, he was very, very impactful defensively in this game. This is the only time you guys will ever hear me say this in this context. Go Green. I'm a U of M fan, but when it comes to Javonte, I'm going to say go Green. That's the only time I'll ever say that. So first things first, guys, I want to shout him out because he's had a bigger impact than I think any of us thought he had for this team early in the season. I thought, even though I said he was a great addition, I thought he was going to be more of a depth piece, right? For when there's foul trouble. If there's certain matchups, then we go to him. Guys, he's played every game this year. And it's because he is a really good defensive player who can knock down open shots. He is a 3-and-D guy. And think about this, guys. After that win against the Mavericks last game, he was awarded the BTA belt. The belt. He won it last game, right? Because we know the belt is given to the player of the game from the player who won it the previous game. Guess who that was? Guess who gave him the belt? Guess who won the award or the belt the previous game? Isaiah Stewart. So doesn't it make sense that Stu, who was a defensive guy first, would give it to another defensive guy? And that's why Green got it. And so he did this off the bench in his 6th game. He won the belt in his 6th game, guys, off the bench. That didn't happen last year. So that's not easy to do unless you're having a huge impact in those non-starter minutes that you're playing. And that's what he did. And that's what he's done all year. Did it again tonight. And he's done that pretty much every game. So I want to shout him out for that for sure. We got more the same from him tonight, for sure. He had a few blocks on Ja Morant, just closing all the way out and getting a finger on the shot. And he played great defense. He played great individual defense, great help side defense. He is just a connector, guys. He is a glue guy. He's a guy like Ausar who can, when there's a defensive breakdown, he can make up for it. He's that kind of guy. And his size and his strength, it bothered the Grizzlies tonight, guys. It bothered Ja Morant. It bothered Santi Aldama. It bothered all those guys because he's a physical, athletic, rangy guy. I believe he's got a 7-foot wingspan. He's only like 6'6". So, and in his shooting, he is proving to be a knockdown shooter. If you leave him open, he's going to make you pay. So I know he had those small mistakes and things like that, but you can see that he is an impactful player on a winning team. You want guys like him. You got guys like Lou Dort, for example. He's that kind of guy. He's that kind of guy. All right. He's a bruiser. He's got great footwork. He's a smart defender, and he's a better shooter than Lou Dort. But you need guys like that on your team. And he is one of those guys for sure. So let's get to some comments real quick. Let's see where we start. Let's go here. GVH says Green's hustle and effort was something else. Yes, something else. All the Pistons were getting their hands. Yes, man. They were rotating. They were on a string defensively. They were all playing together, and he was a big part of that, GVH. I agree with that. Drew says he's underrated. Yes. Pistons Next says Green is the forward version of Paul Reed with a better shot. And you know what? Honestly, I think that's why we're not seeing Paul Reed as much. Because of the things that Green can do. You're 100% correct. He's a little bit more versatile. He's not quite as big as Paul Reed. He's about 6'6", 6'7". Paul Reed about 6'9", 6'10". But Green plays bigger than his size, man. Doesn't he look bigger than 6'6"? Because he's got a crazy long wingspan. So he's actually taller than that when he puts his hands up. And he's strong. He's physical. He doesn't allow you to, you don't see guys really scoring on him. They're passing the ball when he has the ball, when he's guarding them. He's just so much of an impact player on that end. Heisenberg says he plays like a true Piston. Dead on. Dead on. 100%. Organic says Green will clip a 3 when you least yes, if you leave him open, he will make you pay for that. 100%. PD says, I'm liking this game more and more. Yes. He will be our Udonis Haslem. I like that. I like that. Every team needs that, right? Udonis Haslem won 2 championships with the Heat. All right, so 3, actually. I think he won with D-Wade, too, before that. Before LeBron got there. Global Picture Studios. Green Machine. I like it. Organic says Green went from guarding JJJ to Ja in the third. Exactly, in the third quarter. That's that versatility. How many guys in the league can go from guarding JJJ to Ja? We've got a few on our team. We saw Ron Holland tonight. One-on-one coverage in the post. Stand up, JJJ. Force him to a tough shot. He missed. Isaiah Stewart can do the same thing because Isaiah Stewart is a great perimeter defender too. And now we got Green. So many guys with defensive versatility. That's why you need guys on this team like him. He fits right in with what this team does. Perfectly. All right. Mega Hustler says the Pistons better record than the Lions. Wow. Yeah. Right. You're right. The Lions are 5-3. Pistons are 5-2. And it's funny. You guys remember a couple years ago, just 2 years ago, when the Pistons were 14-68, worst season in their history, right? One of the worst ever. And they had won like 9 games. And I think the Lions had won like 10 or 11. And people were saying the Lions going to win more games than the Pistons did. And I believe they did, right? And now it's kind of flipping. We're seeing, even though the Lions are still, we love our Lions. They're fine. But that narrative is gone now. It's gone now, right? The Pistons are here and they're playing like it. AFBH says the Pistons have the longest win streak in the East right now. Wow. What is that, 3 games? East is, man. What's our guys? Somebody look up the standings. Where are we at in the standings? I saw last time before this game, we were at 4. Are we at 3? Because if you guys remember, I had this early, but I had them as a 3 seed this year. I have them finishing 3rd, right? That's where I have them right now. But I definitely want to point that out, man. Detroit Juice says he doesn't foul a lot. He doesn't foul a lot. He knows how to defend without fouling. So I'm telling you guys, this guy, and I'm telling you, man, he has pleasantly surprised me as well. Definitely, man. So what's going on, Zell? Appreciate you, bro. Says big game Cade look good on the road. Should Stu? Yes, bro. Hey, rewind about 20 minutes, bro. We just talked about that. Stu needs to start. So I'm not gonna rehash it, but check it out, bro. Definitely. Appreciate you as always, man. Let's see. I think that's pretty much all we got for Javonte Green. We'll leave it there. So let's go ahead, guys, and move on now to any closing thoughts that you guys may have. Okay, Detroit Juice says that, wow. So, guys, we are tied for second in a wide open East. And guess what? Guess who's not played yet? Guess who has not played 1 minute in the regular season? Y'all know. Jaden Ivey. He has not even played yet, guys. And for everybody saying, oh, we don't need no, stop it. Wait until he comes back and gets comfortable with this team. And you're going to see a whole nother level of transition defense to transition offense. Whole nother level. So many easy buckets are going to be coming from that. And in the half court, he's going to make things easier for Cade because of his ability to play make as far as shooting the ball, as far as getting downhill off the catch and making plays out of it. It's going to be so fun to watch, guys. I cannot wait. And y'all know exactly when he gets back and he gets into a rhythm, because we can't expect J.I. when he gets back to go like that, right? Because the same way I said with Duncan Robinson and Caris Levert, you got to get comfortable with your new teammates. First of all, you got to get comfortable with your body. You got to trust your body again, number one. And then two, you got to get acclimated with your role and how it works when it comes to your teammates. So it's going to take a little bit of time. But when he gets comfortable, guys, watch out. Watch out, man. It's going to, okay. D. Davis says I see we are still fourth. Okay, so 3 or 4. Okay, cool. Guys, we were not, check this out. We were not fourth place. We were not fourth in the standings at all last year. Not once. We started off 0-4. We had to work our way out of that hole all year. We got as high as 5, but then the Pacers got hot and they overtook us and they pushed us down to 6. We never saw the 4th seed. Not once last year. And here we are already in the 4th seed without our second best player. That's what time does. That's what camaraderie does. That's what reps does. That's what a great coaching staff does. And now we're seeing the benefits of it. So we'll leave it there. Ryan says J.I. will be lightning in a bottle once he gets some games under him. Yes. I think he's got a fire lit in him after not playing for so long. 100%. I can attest to this. I can verify this, guys. He cannot wait to get back on the basketball court. He's itching. He is itching. And he's watching from the sideline. So he's taking notes. Even though you can't really replace in-game reps, him being able to watch from the sideline, he knows what he has to do, the player he has to be for this team when he gets back. It's going to be a matter of him just getting an opportunity, getting enough reps with these guys, and building chemistry. And once it happens, watch out. Watch out, man. Organic says, we're going on a year since J.I. played real basketball. He's going to need time and grace from fans. Yes, I don't want people saying, why isn't J.I. playing great in his first game? Stop. The same thing with Ausar Thompson. He was out 8 months with a blood clot. And people are going crazy. He don't look good. What happened once he got comfortable? Look at him now. With a full offseason to work on his body, to get camaraderie with his teammates, to understand his role. We're seeing the best version of Ausar Thompson right now, guys. Best version. So give all these guys time. The same way I say give the new guys time. The same way I said give the young guys time last year. The same way I said give guys time who come back from injury. All these guys need time. But if we are peaking at the right time, we can really do some damage. We're going to get to that in a few minutes with regard to not just the playoffs, but something else, right? So Ethan says, this team is slowly making me more confident in my 2027 NBA championship prediction. I am not mad at that, Ethan. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that, man. I mean, we didn't think the Pacers were going to do what they did last year. Like I said, we were above them in the standings for a nice part of the second half of the year. And we saw what happened with them. So it's not out of the conversation. I don't want to set the bar too high or too low. I don't even want to set expectation. But I think we have a really good chance to surprise some people this year and next year. Muffin, he will be reevaluated in, I think, 3 weeks. Maybe a little bit less than that, because it's been about a week and a half since his 4-week evaluation announcement. So I think he's about 2.5 weeks away. Organic says, Ivey always looks livid that he's not playing. Yes, he does. Because he understands the impact he could have if he was on the court. And Nacho, I'm not mad at that either. Sass, we haven't seen Sass either. That's a great point. Sasser has not played yet, guys. And we know what he can bring offensively. And we know defensively, he's not lazy. He is a ball hog defensively. He's a dog. He's a pit bull. So we're down 2 of our guys and we're still 4th in the Eastern Conference. With new guys who are still getting integrated and acclimated like Caris Levert and Duncan Robinson. So I'm telling y'all, man, the ceiling for this team is very, very high. Let's get a few more comments and then we'll go to our next point and then we'll call it a night, guys. All right. Pistons next says, Deuce, did you talk about the elephant in the room, aka Malik? Listen, I saw Malik Beasley's Snapchat, right? And we know he's been at U of D working out. We know he is living here, right? But just the other day, he was basically saying something to the effect of, I'm heading to Detroit next week. I wonder why. So I don't know what he's hinting at. I doubt it's him playing at the U of D, Detroit Mercy. I doubt it's that because he's already done that. He did that last week. He's been doing that since he's been here. So for him to say that tells me that something else is going on. What is that something else? I don't know. But I am just keeping my ear to the street for an announcement from the NBA that he is cleared. He could be trolling. He could be trolling. I hope he's not. That's why I'm not getting too excited. That's why I wasn't going to mention it until I saw the comment. But you guys mentioned it, so that's why I'm addressing it. But if we get him, along with Jaden Ivey, along with Marcus Sasser, along with just time and growth from these young guys and reps from the veteran guys we got coming in, I'm telling you guys, man, it could be scary hours for the league. We can really do some damage this year. So I'm going to leave that there for now. Don't want to get too ahead of myself, right? But I wanted to point those points out because I think they are good ones. All right, guys, one more thing we're going to get to and we'll call it a night, okay? So here's the thing. And I want you guys to kind of flip your brain a little bit. We're going to kind of go off subject a little bit from the regular season. Well, not the regular season, but we're going to go off subject from this game. So hear me out. So we got, up next for the Pistons is a home matchup against the Utah Jazz on November the 3rd, this Wednesday, right? And following that, that was tonight. No, I'm sorry, I'm tripping. Next game is Utah Jazz in the 3rd. Then following that game is a road matchup with the Brooklyn Nets. That's on Friday the 7th. So guys, the Jazz are currently 11th in the West, and the Nets are at the very bottom of the East. I believe they're 0-5. So the Pistons have a chance now to extend their 3-game winning streak to 5 if they take care of business against both of those teams. And I see no reason why they should not. But here's the thing. The game against the Nets, guys, is the first game of NBA Cup pool play. NBA Cup pool play, guys, is around the corner. So that gives the Pistons a little bit of additional initiative to make sure they win the games they're supposed to win, like they did tonight. So what we're going to do is take a look now at the NBA Cup schedule. All right. So as I mentioned, Friday, November 7th is the Pistons' first NBA Cup game, first game of pool play. And as you can see, if you see here, it says East B, right? Group B. That is where the Pistons are, along with the Celtics, the Nets, as we mentioned, the Orlando Magic, and the Philadelphia 76ers, right? So let's talk NBA Cup for a minute, guys. We're going to talk about it more as it gets closer, as we start getting some NBA Cup games going. But I want to get ahead of it. Y'all know me. I'm always looking ahead and projecting. So, guys, if you remember, since August, when the NBA Cup schedule was released, I said that I believe the Pistons should make it a goal to try to win the NBA Cup. Yes, win the NBA Cup. Now, here's why I say that. Does anybody remember who won the NBA Cup last year? I'm going to test you guys' memory. Does anybody remember who won the NBA Cup last year? If you remember who won the NBA Cup last year, put it in the chat. I want to see who's really been paying attention to what's going on. Pistons next says Lakers. Nope, they did not. Nope. That was 2 years ago. Nope. Who won last year? Does anybody remember? Pacers? Nope. You're getting warmer though. I'm gonna give you guys a few more. OKC? Nope. There we go. We got a winner. Ding, 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 ding. Nacho. Yes. The Milwaukee Bucks, guys. Yes, the Milwaukee Bucks. Surprise, surprise, right? Nope, it wasn't OKC, Dwayne. They won the championship. They were in the final. But the Bucks actually won. That's interesting, right? That's interesting stuff. Like most people wouldn't think that the Bucks won, but they actually won. The Thunder were there in the final, but the Bucks actually won. So it wasn't either of the Eastern or Western Conference Finals teams that won. It was the Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks, guys, they beat the OKC Thunder in the Cup final in a blowout, 97-81. And honestly, the final score wasn't even that close to how the game was played. It wasn't even that close. The Bucks dominated that game. It was a style. What do they say in boxing? Boxing is a style, is a game of style, right? So it's a sport of style. Styles make fights. There we go. Styles make fights. That was a terrible matchup for the OKC Thunder were the Milwaukee Bucks, right? So, question. Were the Milwaukee Bucks the best team in the league last year? Not even close, right? As evidenced by their first round playoff exit to the Pacers last year. They got smoked by the Pacers, what, 5 games, 6 games? But if you're able to win your group, it's a 1-game elimination in the lightning round bracket. Anybody can be beat in a 1-game elimination bracket. It's like college, it's like March Madness all over again, right? And I think the Pistons, I think the Pistons are good enough right now to beat anybody on any given night. Wouldn't you agree? If the Pistons bring their A game every single night, they can win this cup. They can beat anybody. So I personally believe this young Pistons team should make it a goal to go for it. It doesn't mean the Pistons don't have playoff aspirations, right? That's most important, of course, trying to advance past the first round for the first time in 18 years, right? Because the last time they did it was in 2008 in the conference finals when they lost to the Boston Celtics. That was the last time the Pistons really were competitive in the playoffs. We know they went there in 2016, they got swept by the Cavs, right? We know even in 2009, they went there, got swept by the Cavs, right? And then they went in 2019, got swept by the Bucks. The last time they were really contending in the playoffs was in 2008 against the Boston Celtics. But considering the Pistons' turnaround last year began during the NBA Cup, right? Tim Hardaway Jr. said that. He said the turnaround didn't begin when Jaden Ivey went down. No, the turnaround began during the NBA Cup. Tim Hardaway Jr. said that. Go look it up. And I believe these young Pistons who are hungry to compete in meaningful basketball games, right? This team has not really been playing in meaningful basketball games, playoff games, other than last year. In Cade's career, in JD's career, in Ausar's career, J.I.'s career. Before last year, none of them had played one playoff game. So getting to participate in any meaningful games that means something that people will remember is important. And so they should treat the NBA Cup as their NBA finals before the playoffs, right? And here's the thing too, with the NBA Cup being so early in the season, when teams are still trying to find their rhythm, the Pistons could really catch teams at the right time, especially those teams whose only aspirations are championships, right? Teams like the Cavs, teams like the Knicks, who are further along in their progression than the Pistons are, may not be as focused on winning that. But for a team like the Pistons, who want to play in any meaningful basketball games, want to prove to everybody that they are here and they are relevant, perfect opportunity. The Pistons might have just a little bit more motivation than those other teams. And the toughest part, in my opinion, they got to win their group. They have to win their group, right? Finishing with the best record in their group so that they can advance to the elimination bracket. So imagine the Pistons winning their group, getting Jaden Ivey back along the way, right? Let's just say he comes back as we're getting ready to get in preparation for the lightning rounds, and we get him back and he's catching the rhythm, right? Just best case scenario. We get him back. He's catching the rhythm at the right time. The whole team is catching the rhythm at the right time. Entering the elimination rounds. It could be danger time for the league because these other teams wouldn't have seen a lot of film on all these guys together. With Duncan, with Caris, with J.I., with Javonte, with Ron. They wouldn't have had a lot of film to even scout these guys. And with some of the bench guys settling into their roles, like we mentioned, Duncan Robinson, for example, Caris Levert, for example, Javonte Green, and Cade looking like a top 5 MVP candidate right now. Jalen Duren looking like an all-star level big. Ausar Thompson looking the best he's looked since he's been drafted, making another jump. I don't see why it can't happen. Is it probable? Maybe not. Is it possible? Is it possible? Definitely. Should they go for it? Absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll see how the next couple days and weeks play out. But first, the Pistons have to win that group. And that begins by beating the Brooklyn Nets this coming Friday. So we'll see. We'll see, man. But I think they have a shot to do it. So let's get to a few more comments, guys, and then we will call it a night. Ryan says, Detroit has a team, plus it's only getting better. We can beat any we can beat any team if we stay locked in and focused. And that's why I think they should go for it. That's why they should go for it. That's exactly why I feel that way, Ryan. And I 100% agree with that sentiment. Let's get a few more comments, guys, and we will call it a night. Organic says, Miles Turner's three-point shooting seems to be JD's kryptonite. That's why having Isaiah Stewart in the lineup would help, right? Because he can guard those guys. Stu can guard guards on the perimeter. So imagine him out there, and you can have JD bang with Giannis. It just solves that problem. So that's why I think they should do that. If you have Tobias in there, Turner can go from if Turner's on the perimeter and he sees Tobias on him, post game. Tobias just isn't big enough. But with Stu, who can move laterally on the perimeter, who can get out to shooters, but it also can hold his own and not get bullied in the paint, it just makes sense. Once again, that two big lineup is important. That's why I think they should do it. It solves so many problems for them. PD says JB is the real MVP. Yeah, as a man, the things he has done for this team, the way he has put these guys in the best possible position, the way he's really accentuating and magnifying their skill set, putting them in spots where they're effective. That's one thing that the previous coach here did not do. It was, hey, run this system. No, do it this way. Yeah, but that's not my stuff. It don't matter. It'll work. Just do it this way. No. Coach is like, nah, bro. Exactly, Glitch. Exactly. He's like, nah, okay. What are you good at, J.I.? Okay, cool. Let me figure out how that works with Cade. Oh, I know. Okay, we'll have Cade be the primary ball handler. If they double, give it to J.I. Let him get downhill. That's perfect. That's what he loves to do. And J.I. is good enough to, if he does get doubled off the catch, he can make the right play out of it. He's not a natural point guard, but he's got point guard skills. He can play make. That's how those two work. Okay, Ausar, what do you do best? Okay, not a good shooter? Okay, you're going to be moving. You're going to be cutting. You handle the ball a little bit. You're going to get out in transition. You're going to get stops. So that way we can get out in transition as a team. That's what JB does. That's what he does. He finds ways to put you in the best position to be successful regardless of the skill set. And when you got so much young talent like this, that's exactly what you need. That's why Trajan isn't looking to trade anybody. He knows he has a coach that can get the most out of those guys. So he's not going to trade anybody until he sees what that is. Hope y'all are feeling me here. That's the difference. And I can see him being here the same way Dan Campbell could be here for 10 plus years. I can see JB being here 10 plus years. He fits the city, he fits the culture, he fits these players, and they want to play for him because he is going to bat for them. Period. He is the MVP of this team. Cade is the on-court MVP. JB is the off-court MVP. Period. No doubt about it. That was a great comment. All right, a few more comments, guys. I'm going to call tonight. Marvin says, after every home win, as soon as the game is closed, the fans should start to chant, ooh, I like that. Coach of the year. Coach of the year. I like that, Marvin. Hey, we might have to do a call to action for that. That's a great idea because I don't think he gets enough love. Even from me. We do the box scores every game. I don't give him enough credit. So because of this comment, because of you guys' comments about JB, I'm going to make sure that I highlight JB Bickerstaff more because he deserves it. He deserves it, man. He has pressed all the right buttons for this team. And shout out to Trajan Langdon, too, for knowing that he would be that guy for this young team. Both of those guys have done an amazing job, and they deserve more flowers. So I'm going to get the ball rolling and start giving them more on a game-to-game basis whenever I can. And if I forget, that's what y'all are here for, to remind me, right? All right. A few more and we're out of here, guys. Monty says, Ausar sit in the corner. JB says, we put the ball in your hands and you have to cut and get good. Thank you. You get it. You get it. That's the difference. And that's why they want to play for him. They're having fun now. That's why they're playing defense so hard. Because they know on offense, they're going to be put in position to be successful. We got a great one, man. We got a great one. Heisenberg says, JB got the Pistons back to playing Detroit basketball. He reintroduced them to their identity. 100%. 100%. 100%, man. All right. Yeah. Michael Hustle says, yeah, Bernie Bickerstaff is the man. Anybody who can give the Hornets a respectable record is a good man. Bernie was a good coach too, man. And that's where JB learned from. He's been around basketball his whole life. He grew up watching his father coach every night. Right? So perfect coach for this team. Last one. JB deserves flowers until he sits to start in the fourth quarter of a game 6 with 5 minutes left. I'm not mad at that, man. I mean, we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. No coach is perfect, right? But I know you're just joking, but yeah. And that's the thing too. The same way these young guys are getting better, coach is getting better too. He's learning from his mishaps. He's learning from his mistakes. He's learning from his experience. The same way these players are, which means all these guys can grow together. And that's a great thing. When your coach can grow with you, that's how you stick around for a long time. That's how you stay on, because they have confidence in you. You got confidence in them, and they just have a unified chip on their shoulder, right? Bickerstaff was fired after doing a pretty good job in Cleveland. Chip. You got these young players who had the worst record ever for their franchise going into last season. Chip. Right? So it's just a perfect fit, man. Yes, Petey. Perfect marriage. Wait, perfect way to say it. All right. Let's see. Y'all know what happened. Oh, Eastside Meat says, y'all know what happened the last time we got a coach from Cleveland. Yes, sir. You already know, man. You already know. We got Coach Chuck Daly. Daddy Rich. Before he came to the Pistons, was a coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's funny how things repeat themselves because we know how that played out. Eastside Meat. So that's a great point there, my friend, for sure. So, guys, we are going to end it there, man. Been a great show. Don't want to take it too long, but I wanted to get some comments in because I know you guys know your basketball for the most part as well. And I know you guys are excited. So I wanted to get you guys commenting as much as I could. But, guys, the Pistons have a great opportunity here, man, to really do some damage. I see a 5-game winning streak on the horizon. They're currently at 3. They got the Utah Jazz next, and then they got the Brooklyn Nets in their first game of pool play in the NBA Cup tournament, which I think they should go for and try to win. Okay? So we'll leave it there, guys. Great show, man. Great comments from you guys. All of you guys always bring the heat, as you guys always do. I appreciate you guys showing up and showing out with your boy, as you guys always do. Like I mentioned, the boss will be back here for the matchup on Wednesday against the Utah Jazz, and we will get back to getting as many comments as we can because she'll be here to help me moderate. But, guys, great show, man. Great being here with you guys. That's the wrap for tonight's show. We will see you guys Wednesday night post-game after the Pistons hopefully move their win streak to 4 and get a win against the Utah Jazz. So with that, guys, I appreciate you for hanging with your boy. And as always, man, Detroit versus everybody. See y'all Wednesday.
Rewind 2021. There was a parade in my city. Number 1 pick, dancing in the street. Everybody was hitting the gritty. Cade arrived in the D, and it was live as can be. They can ball, but we didn't want Green, Mobley, or Scotty B. No, when he got hurt, everyone lost it. Storylines leaking, no faucet. Caught him wash when he broke his tibia. All the haters, time to get it ready, yeah. Everybody wanna be Skip Bayless. Wanna throw shade, okay, say less. Dudes went number 1 for a reason. It'll click by the end of the season. When he wins most improved player. Gonna be a movie, here's the trailer. Don't say I didn't try to warn ya. Co-signed by Wim Benyama.
Cade Cunningham.
He was raised a Texan, but now he's Detroit flexing. Team USA, he was killing them. Got him effed up, let me quote Eminem. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. That's a bunch of gibberish and money lovers act like they forgot about Cade. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. That's a bunch of gibberish and money lovers act like they forgot about Cade. Forgot about Cade, they forgot about Cade. Forgot about, how you forget about Cade?